Hey, what's up, everybody? You know what time it is. Your boy Jeffrey L. Boney here for another hot edition of Real Talk Junkies Live. So glad that you joined us on today. Make sure you share the link with each and every person, whether it's your friend, your family, your foes, your enemies. It doesn't matter. Everybody needs to tune in to yet another hot topic and interesting conversation here on Real Talk Junkies. As always, we encourage all of you to check out the latest news for and about the African American community at forwardtimes.com. Again, that's forwardtimes.com. Check out what we're talking about this week, as well as engage with me, chat with me, chop it up with me, and get my latest book, Don't Argue With Me, a no-nonsense approach to the issues in the Black community at jeffreylboney.com. Again, that's jeffreylboney.com. We're going to get right into it, y'all. You know, many of you who follow me and have followed me for years know that I've been in the financial services arena for many years. I was a bank executive. And I saw firsthand and have done historical research and saw the impact of what's called redlining. Redlining is where banks refuse to give loans and provide opportunities for African Americans, particularly or certain demographic groups, to acquire loans to purchase land and things of that nature. Redlining is one thing that financial institutions do, but also in the real estate industry, there's a lot of other things that have impacted us, which is prompted things like the Fair Housing Act and things like that to try to protect the rights, the housing rights of African Americans and many other disenfranchised and discriminated against minorities. We have a couple today that just recently experienced something similar. When I first heard about this story, I immediately wanted to have them on the show, and I immediately wanted to tell their story because this should not be happening in 2022. But hey, look, everybody needs to take the blinders off. Racism is still here. Racism and discrimination still exists because of the society that this country was founded on. And so we can't ignore it. We can't act like it doesn't exist. And here to talk about it today is James and Misty Amari, who just recently experienced something so tragic that no African-American, especially a young African-American couple like this, should experience. Let's give it up for James and Misty. All right, welcome to Real Talk Junkies. Welcome to Real Talk Junkies. All right, so let's jump right into it. First of all, before we get into what actually happened to you, I always like to make sure our RTJs, Real Talk Junkies, know a little bit about our guests. So I was very intrigued by y'all's story. You guys were actually, you're from New Orleans, Sugar Land, you're from New Orleans. You all were working in the same industry, kind of an apartment complex. What is it? What were y'all doing?
We're in the apartment industry, right off I-10, Katy Freeway, Katy area. We were in the apartment industry for quite some time, and one of my colleagues told me that his wife worked with a young lady by the name of Misty, who he felt that I would be attracted to. So I took his advice and literally got in my car as soon as he told me that and drove down the street to where she worked.
Wow.
Walked in the door. She saw me and she asked what I needed. Did I need to look at an apartment? And I told her, no, I came to look at my wife because I'm unmarried.
Wow. No, come on now. It didn't go down like that.
16 years later, man.
16
years, 4 kids later.
Wow. So wait a minute. He told you. Now, first of all, that's a cool homeboy. All right. So he told you that there was a chick that he thought you'd be interested in. You got in your car immediately. And went down to where she worked and told her what you just said.
Absolutely.
And what did you say?
I said, you lost your mind. I mean, that was literally my first reaction. But I mean, the best thing that ever happened to me has been meeting my.
Now you're leaving out some stuff. Okay, hold on. You said that you must be out of your mind. But I guess, what ended up happening that changed your mind as it relates to this great young man?
We instantly connected. We had a friendship. I mean, that's how we have been able to sustain this long, working together, being together pretty much 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Is that we have an amazing chemistry, and it has always been there from the beginning. I'm a typical around the way girl. I like to laugh. He definitely has that. He makes me laugh every single day. There's not a day that goes by. Even when he may be feeling like ill, I don't like to say sick or not, under the weather. He literally is still going to make me laugh.
So you guys not only connected on a relationship level, you also pursued the same interest together, which is real estate. You guys started going to real estate school, and so tell me about that journey.
Well, on like our second date, we both, I asked her, I said, what's your long-term goals? And she said, well, I'd like to pursue a real estate career and open up a real estate office. I said, me too. We were in the same industry. She leased apartments, I leased apartments. So we decided to go to real estate school together, and we, retrieved our licenses together. And as soon as I passed my real estate exam, I got fired from my job the next day. They gave me an ultimatum to either, not pursue real estate or to focus on full-time.
Well, how did they
job.
know that you were?
Well, I had told one of my colleagues I was going to real estate school and studying for my license.
They snitched on.
Exactly.
Oh, come on, man.
But it was the best thing to happen.
Was it a brother?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't a brother. But if it was,
They was hating on
it
you.
needed to be.
Right,
Because
right.
that was a shift, a shift in my life that was necessary. And so, I continued to pursue a real estate career and had immediate success. Her and I, we had literally passed my license December 3rd, 2006, and hit the ground running January 1, 2007. And her and I, we had immediate success the first year. And
So how old were you guys around this time?
23, 24.
23, 24. So young African-American couple. So not only had you established a relationship together, but you also established a career together that you all were joined to both at the hip. So fast forward, with all the success you all experienced, you started getting into real estate investing.
Correct. Yes.
Talk about that.
Got into real estate investing because we wanted to generate some, generational wealth and passive income for ourselves. We like to travel. We like to spend time with our children. We don't like to be under the governing ship of anybody. Even though we're on the sovereign land of America, we like to have our liberties, and we like to do what we want, when we want, how we want.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore we love the lifestyle that we have now, and we're just trying to expand on that. And then also create some generational wealth for our children as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we got into investing because we felt that was the best way to create money. And the way that you handle money is with money.
Yeah.
And so therefore we educated ourselves in every aspect of finances. We educated ourselves in every aspect of real estate. We know a little bit about everything when it comes to real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what separates us from other brokers. There's so many avenues you could travel in real estate, but many people just specialize in one avenue. We specialize in multi avenues.
Mm-hmm.
That's one great thing about her and I. So we just started to invest our money into real estate. We owned a bunch of real estate properties around the city of Houston. Then we start building and developing. And we're developing, two beautiful single-family homes in the Acres Homes area now. We have rental properties across the city, across Houston area, and we've also got commercial real estate in Katy, in the historical district of Katy, prime real estate that we're going to be developing on, my wife and I, that we own. So that was the gist of it, of why we got into real estate investing, because that is the number one way to build wealth.
So in you laying out all of the success that you all have experienced, you're no stranger to real estate building and developing.
Correct.
And investing.
Correct.
And so that brings us to the federal civil lawsuit that was recently filed by you all. It was really quite shocking when I saw the blatant discrimination in the lawsuit that you all experienced. So you all being experienced investors, young African-American investors, you all, from what I read, you ate at the same restaurant pretty much 3-4 times a week or multiple times a week. And this restaurant was across the street from the place that you found out about was having an open house and that you were potentially interested in acquiring. So walk me through that day before before you saw the flyer or as you saw the flyer.
Well, seeing the flyer before I actually went to look at the property for the first time, I was potentially inquiring about investing there. After seeing the property, it was no longer a potential investment I wanted to do. It was concrete. All I had to do at that moment was consult with my business partner, which so happens to be my wife. She makes the final decisions on where she feels that we should put our money.
Right.
And so I asked her, can we make this happen? Can we at least purchase one property here? And she said, no, we're going to need to purchase multiple.
Well, tell us about the property. What's the name of the property? Tell us the details.
Grand West Condominiums.
Grand West
Grand West
Condominiums.
Condominiums is the name of the property. I went there early this year in 2022 to inquire liked what I saw, went back with the literature to my wife, introduced it to her. She did her due diligence. She stamped it with an approval. She said, we just need a couple of months to make some moves, move some things around on our other investments. She made that happen. On the 20th of August was the day that we went. I'm gonna let my wife explain what happened on that day.
Okay.
Okay, so as James said, when we went on the 20th, we went with the plan. We had to purchase these units. It's the only mid-rise condominium in the Katy area. It's around the University of Houston has a campus there. HCC is building a campus there. There's Andretti's, which is a go-kart place. They are building a putting green. So there's lots of energy there. And just with 2021 and how real estate really is scarce now, but the way that value in property doubled, even sometimes tripled, especially in the Katy area, we had to get it. Excuse me. So when we went there that day, we went and we met with the agent, who now is Josie Lynn. And she was a bit apprehensive, but at the end of the day, I don't care like how the transaction or how the energy is during the process. Of course, I want it to be nice and professional, but I mean, she was a bit apprehensive, but she showed us the property. She didn't deny us that. So we went out, we saw the property. She showed us a 2-bedroom unit. We asked a few questions, but her question she asked was really what kind of like started making me feel uneasy. She asked us, why were we there? It's obvious to purchase the condominium. But she asked where we from around there, where we are from around there. How did we hear about it, and why would we want to purchase there? And James is a no nonsense kind of guy. That's what we make.
Well, I mean, the fact that he drove to your job and told you that you were going to be his wife, I can agree with that.
Super assertive. I think, but that's what makes us such a balanced energy, because James is the no nonsense. I am more of the people person, and I will kind of give people the benefit of the doubt. And so James was like, that's really irrelevant, and I follow suit. You know what I mean? I'm one of those people. We are definitely one and the same. So when he went there, and I was like, okay, well, it's irrelevant. I had nothing else to say. We walked on to the next unit, and we asked her, we wanted to see a 1-bedroom. She passed us off to another gentleman, which again, I think is very unprofessional, but I didn't
When
care.
You say passed you off, what do you mean? Like,
oh, she passed us off. She didn't want to show us anymore.
Oh, so she was just like, oh, okay, this guy will show you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She called him to show us. He was not, it's not like he was on the tour with us at all.
Now, who is this Josie Lynn person? Like, I mean, I know that she was the one hosting the open house.
Yes.
And
yes,
so
sir.
she's a broker.
Correct. She's a
owner.
broker with Remax advertising behind her, but she claims she's represented by EXP. That's her brokerage firm.
I got you.
So Remax/EXP is how we're referencing it at this moment.
Yes.
And like my wife said, she passed us on to someone who referenced himself as Mr. Nobody when we asked what his name was when he came to show us the other unit that we requested to see. And I asked him, I said, what's your name, sir? I'm Mr. Nobody. I said, no, everybody's somebody, brother. I said, what's your name? I told you I'm Mr. Nobody. And
so wait a minute, if you don't mind me asking, I just think this is relevant. Were these individuals African American?
They were Asian descent.
Both of them were of
Correct.
Asian descent.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So non-black Asian descent, and so Mr. Nobody said he was Mr. Nobody.
And I replied, well, as a man thinks, so is he. And so after that, he said, after that comment, we had nothing else to speak about except to negotiate the price. I did want to negotiate a few $1,000s off of the asking price. Wanted to make that attempt. So he escorted us back to Josie Lynn in her office. We sat down, and I let Miss Josie Lynn know that we were wanting to proceed and put our earnest money down on, 3 separate units.
Okay, you just mentioned 2. Yeah.
No, it was 3. One for personal dwelling for my sister-in-law, and the other 2 were going to be for investment purposes.
Okay, because I did notice in the lawsuit there was another individual, Rosemary.
Rosemary's my sister-in-law, my
Okay.
wife's sister.
Okay, so she was also looking to.
Yeah, her house was on the market at that time, August 20th. Her house is now sold and closed. She should be moving into Grand West condominiums no later than the end of this month, early first week of next month. So this should already be a done deal. She has nowhere to live now other than with us. She's living with us right now.
Oh wow.
She sold her home. Her home closed on the 12th of September, and she was moving her resources along with ours for that one unit, and then we were purchasing 2 others for investment.
Okay, so you're saying that right now she has no dwelling.
No,
except for with you all.
her and her child.
Plans were to move into the place that you all went to go visit. So let's get back to Mr. Nobody bringing you back to talk about negotiating. Now, was he the person that you negotiated with?
No, he brought us back to. He told me you can't negotiate with me. You have to negotiate with Josie.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's the boss. She's in control.
Yeah, she's the boss. That's what he said. I said, okay, we're gonna go back to your boss.
Okay.
Since she's the boss, she's your boss. We'll go back over there.
So y'all went to the boss,
Mhm.
Josie Lynn, Remax, EXP, and what happened at this point?
The first thing she said when we got in the office, she was like, yes, so what questions do you have? And she was like, oh, but let me tell you this, FHA won't be accepted here. We were like, who said anything about FHA, financing, anything? And we were like, okay, that's fine.
So she's trying to insinuate through her question that you all would have some sort of Fannie Mae or,
Correct.
Some housing type of subsidy,
Yes.
or need for a certain type of lending that is different than just having money or having your own financing through a conventional bank.
Correct.
Yes,
Or lender.
Correct.
exactly.
Or if you needed a lender at all.
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so when she made that comment, I still thought past it. I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. And so then we asked questions like, your basic questions. My sister was filling out her guest card, and I was asking questions like, okay, well, the HOA monthly assessment, how much is it? She told me the price on that. And then we discussed that we were interested into investor units. She made the comment stating that only her company could lease there. Like you had to lease through her firm. And I was like, well, why is that? And she was like, it's in the bylaws. And my sister asked, well, can you give us a copy of the bylaws? She was like, I don't have it. And she was like, look, I'm the owner. I decide who can and who cannot live here. And I was like, okay. So I was like, here we go. And so then,
so leading up to this, you did not have any inkling or thought in your mind that this could be a potentially racially profiled type of situation?
Absolutely not.
no.
So at what point is the bylaws point, or what the comment she made about who can stay here and who not, did it register then, or?
I still didn't think it was that. I just feel like sometimes, and we've had this situation with us being younger, and when we're dealing with someone who's older in age, they have a tendency to like speak to you kind of like childlike, not saying that that's what she was doing, but she was just like, hey, these are the rules type things. And I had no problem following the rules as long as it's legal. So show me where it's in the bylaws that you are the only entity, the only company that has the power to lease there. And as far as managing it, because I may not want you taking being responsible for management of my property. I am like one of those people who are clear cut. Everything is black and white.
Right.
So show it.
So you're looking at,
you.
you're asking and looking at things just from a fact-based standpoint. You're
Yes.
like, show it to me in black and white and writing so I can make my own, have my own understanding and make my own determination. But so what about with you? She said that it didn't click with her, but did it click with you at all?
Absolutely, and that's why I started recording early.
And see, I didn't know.
So at what point did you?
As soon as she said I make a decision on who lives here, I start recording.
So then you started recording.
Absolutely.
But before that, it didn't
No,
register with you.
no, sir.
Oh
I
wow.
started recording then. I felt uncomfortable right at that moment. It was a eerie, dark, energetic feeling within me when she said I make a decision. It took me back. It took me back not to an experience I personally had. It took me back and subconsciously took me to a place of what I was programmed in my mind to see on TV. I just like, wait, something I'm feeling right here. And then it just became reality. It became my reality when she made the other, unnecessary, repugnant, repulsive comments after that, then I knew it was my reality. And I hadn't been the same since that day.
Wow. So let's get back to it. Because you have a pretty elephant memory when it comes to these things that she said and did. What else did she say after that? I make the decisions about. I mean, did you say it with a real cocky
it was
attitude?
authoritative because she was kind of like sit up poached behind her desk. So all three of us were sitting in front of her desk, and she was sitting like poached up as if like she was talking down to us. And you listen to what I say, and I will tell you, and that's that. So as she was talking, when she made the comment saying she decides the rules, and she decides who lives and who cannot live here. And then she made the comment, because you can't just do what you want to here. That was
so that was an additional comment.
Oh yeah,
you just can't do what you want to. And what did you ask her to elaborate? Or
well, when she said you couldn't do what you want, that was the reason of her saying that her company could be the only representative as far as the leasing of the condominiums for investors and the management. So that was her follow-up to why. And then when I asked her for the bylaws, she said she didn't have a copy of the bylaws. So then I said, so how often are you having the meetings? And she was like, we don't have meetings. I said, when you established your condominium association, you have to have minutes and meetings. And I was like, because you got to have minutes. I was like, even if it's just you on the board, you have to have some sort of record of the meetings. I was like, because what if, the investors or the owners of the units want to come back and look at the old minute meetings from when the property first started? And then when I asked that question, that's when she really got offensive. And I was like, I was trying to explain to her why I was asking that question. Not that I should have, because that's just the rules. But I was explaining to her why. And then she was like, she told us, then she started segueing into that her intentions was to make this a 55 and older community in the future. And she was like, she told us that she had many developments in that area, and she just feels like this community would be better suited for 55 and older. And James asked her, so are you not going to sell to us because we're not 55 and older? She was like, no, that's not why I'm going to sell to you. She said that my gut feeling is that you and I wouldn't be able to get along. And we were like, why?
Yeah, exact words, quote unquote.
What do you think she meant by that?
I didn't want to assume. And in the video, I even said that. I said, your gut feeling. I said, well, I don't want to assume what your gut is telling.
So when you say you were recording her, you just had your phone up like
this? No, I just
had
the phone on my lap.
Okay. Oh, okay. So this was an audio
Correct.
recording?
Well, my wife did capture her somewhere or another. She did.
Right.
But I just had it on my lap.
I understand. Okay. Yeah. So you were recording. And so, wow. I don't feel, my gut feeling is that we would not get along.
Yeah.
So this is going from bad to worse to even worse.
Yeah.
If I can use even worse as a word, which I will, because it's my show.
Correct.
I'm gonna be like,
we're not gonna argue. We're not gonna argue,
right? So where does it go from here?
Oh, where it went from there was, I had enough of the disrespect.
Okay.
I had enough of.
So now at this point, you like, man, you being totally.
It was just completely disrespectful, unprofessional, and I just knew at that point we needed to disposition the conversation, and we were not gonna sit there and beg someone to take our money. It wasn't gonna happen. And so I just knew at that point to disposition the conversation and seek legal advice and handle it from there, which is what we did. And we hired Sadia Evangelista and Justin Moore as our representation to handle this appropriately in the legal matter.
So if we can then, since it's already been filed, let's talk about the federal lawsuit. There are a lot of things that are being claimed in the lawsuit, primarily about how that speak to the Fair Housing Act. A lot of it about discrimination because of your race, age, a lot of things that are mentioned there. So what are you hoping to that comes from this lawsuit?
Well, my prayer is that this is open up dialogue. This is going to open up an avenue for more dialogue for what minorities particularly the Black community faces and what we go through. A lot of people in our community are really on a good, straight, narrow path to where we're ascending now. And so we're available to more resources, to where we're seeking out opportunities to better our lives, and real estate is one of them.
Mhm.
And I don't want any other family going through this.
Mhm.
Other ethnicities have their resources in our communities. This is America, land of the free. And we can make any strategic move that we desire to, and we can exercise our liberties, and we can move our resources in any area we'd like to as well.
Mhm.
And I don't want anyone being stopped from doing that, no matter the color, no matter the race, no matter the gender. And so if we have open dialogue, especially for our community, we could prevent some of those things from happening. And so what I want to come out of that is for it to shed light. I want it to shed light on what issues we truly have in our community. And I also want it to shed light on what's going on in other communities who are preventing our community from ascending and enhancing in our own personal lives and in business.
Mhm.
So if we can shed light on that, and we can let them know that we're not going to tolerate this
Mhm.
in any way, shape, or form. We're just not going to do it.
Mhm.
And we're going to band together, and we're going to use our resources together. And what we are doing now is just an example and a smidget of what's going to happen in the future. Because see, when you violate, we're going to demonstrate.
Mhm.
And that's what my wife and I actually want to exude. We want people to know to don't stand for this.
Mhm.
Hit them where it hurts. Hit them mentally, and you hit them in the pockets,
Mhm.
and let them learn their lesson. And then you demonstrate as one together. You know, ants can take an elephant down if they band together. And so that's what we're going to do. And we want to be the forefront of that.
Man, you said some powerful words there, man. And I guess, we have to have that wishful thinking that we will band together and come together with our resources and that mindset, because it's going to take a shifting of our paradigm as a people to get to where you're trying to go. And I think I want to segue, if I could. First of all, let me just say how proud I am to have met you all, and I appreciate your strength and your willingness to fall on the sword for the betterment of others, because you shouldn't have had to go through what you went through. But what I heard and what you shared is that she was offended. The Josie Lynn lady was offended by your knowledge about your ability to know exactly what was going on, because you, as an African American, you're not supposed to know these type of things.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be educated like this. You're not supposed to be able to tell me what the bylaws should contain or how often I should be having meetings. And even if you are the only one on the board, that you're supposed to have minutes to reflect, those things you're not supposed to be able to know or definitely communicate. You're not supposed to know the details about investing and ask these types of questions, and have these type of resources to be able to do that. And so I want to applaud you for being an example for your children and for the community, because so many of us need to hear this story, because there's a deeper conversation to be had here, not just your lawsuit. Because I keep hearing the term gentrification, and I do believe that there is some merits behind gentrification, but I do believe also that we have the ability, and you're an example of it. We have the ability to acquire the land and the properties in our own neighborhoods that others are acquiring and building and doing things to improve our neighborhood, to make it that it doesn't impact negatively our community.
Absolutely.
So I want to hear from you, Misty. Like, what do you hope? I know he spoke and expressed, on behalf of the family, what it is that he desires and his prayer is. But what is your ultimate hope and goal for this?
It directly aligns with James. My not just my people directly, but just all people. It's time out for that sort of bigotry and that despicable ideology. Enough is enough. And I, especially knowing what a great tool real estate is, an investment in the financial world, it's no way that our people should ever been denied the ability to utilize and leverage their resource. I have never, one thing that I love about my mother is my mother has never opposed any limit on me. She told me I can do what I want to do, I can have what I want to have, and that has been my ideology. And I want every sister, every brother to feel that way. We have no limits. We don't have to stay in a certain area. We don't have to not do this because, okay, well, we got to worry about being blocked. Time is out for that. I have four beautiful children. I got two daughters and two sons. It's no way that I would ever have them to ever believe that they can't do and accomplish any goal that they set out. And that's what Josie Lynn attempted to do. So because you want to be a dream killer, we gotta fight. It's like literally a Samson and Goliath. I'm just tired of that. And I have never experienced any type of outright racism or discrimination like that. That was the first time, and I'm a fighter.
Mhm.
This she got the right one that day.
Well, it's not just that day,
Yeah,
but today.
yeah.
Man, so what message do you all, I mean, because I think that outside of the, shining a light on what happened to you all, and we're going to continue to do that. I know in the Forward Times this week, make sure you look at the the website today. It'll be online. The story, Investing While Black, will be up. Shout out also to my brother Derek Muhammad, who's in the building. But I want to make sure that people understand that this is extremely important for us to have a conversation about Black empowerment and understanding the power that we have as a people, the things that we can do to improve our overall condition. And you all are true examples of that, and you should, again, be applauded. There's a question from the audience.
Yes, we do. We have one from Daryl that says he saw it on the news. Why do you still want to purchase there?
Oh, great question, Daryl. And I'm very glad you asked that question. So the Asian community has their resources in our communities. We want to put our resources in their communities as well. Not only that, I want to purchase there because not just because it's a good investment, but because I want to do what I want to do. I want to do that, Daryl. And then not only do I want to do what I want to do, not only do I want to do what I want to do, I want you to be able to do what you want to do. Because I'm going to do what I want to do. Now watch this. Josie Lynn stopped me from doing what I wanted to do that day. She stopped me from doing what I wanted to do that day. Now she had the ability to stop me that day, but she don't have the ability to say forever. That's why we're fighting. Okay? And so being the fact that I was stopped that day, I'm fighting to never ever be stopped. Never ever have a hiccup.
Come on.
And you don't want to have one either. And so that's why I want to do it. I want to do it because it's a good investment. There are resources in our communities. I want to put my resources in there, and I want to do what I want to do. And I want you to be able to do what you want.
Great answer.
Awesome. We have two more questions. The next question is, we have seen so much growth from Black Wall Street, things of that sort. Why don't Black people just create their own space?
That's the goal. I mean, is utilizing real estate to be able to create the financial tools for our community so we can build back up a Black Wall Street. We can't just limit it to one area, especially in real estate investing. You have to go where the money is going, where it's showing to have revenue and growth. Because if we just sit and just say, okay, we're going to invest in one single area, well, you're limiting your money, and you can't build the Wall Street and make serious moves and like literally make positive, substantial, long change without making real estate investments wherever you want to, especially where you're seeing the growth and potential in the numbers.
And let me expound on that. Like I said before earlier in the interview, the way you handle money is with money, and you have to diversify your money. And so just like any other investor, anyone that owns an NFL team, trust and believe their money is not just in the NFL.
Yeah.
They have money in NBA. They've got money in technology. They've got money in many things. And so they diversify their portfolio so that they can leverage that money and then put that money in their communities to better their communities. You would be amazed if I were to tell you what these people do in their communities that you have no idea, not even in this country, but in other countries. And they leverage their resources that's here in America to better their own communities and countries in other countries. And so we're leveraging our resources just down the street. It don't matter where it is. We don't want to live amongst anyone else. We want to live amongst our people, but we need to leverage our resources to be able to have a wonderful community amongst our people.
Yeah, it's about a different mindset.
Yeah.
You know, we got to change the paradigm, you know, and I really appreciate that.
One last question. In a perfect world, what is your perfect outcome?
In a perfect world, my perfect outcome is each and every day, because I don't strive to be perfect because I already am perfect. My wife doesn't strive to be perfect because she already is, but we were born perfect. So you don't have to strive to be something that you already are. What you're striving to be is a light, a brighter light that you can illuminate a path that other people want to follow. And in a perfect world, I would love to see our community shine brighter and brighter each and every day to illuminate a path that other communities want to follow, because we're the standard. Nobody else is the standard. We're the standard. And until you understand that we are the standard, then we'll never, ever be that light that needs to be shined for everyone to know that we're the standard. That wouldn't be a perfect world. That's the way the world was when it was created. We were perfect then and we're perfect now. We just ain't acting like it. We're lying on our neighbor, our true self. We got to start telling the truth to ourselves. If you see a crackhead on the street, that's the lie. That's not the truth of them. The truth of them is perfect. That's how they were born. They picked that crack pipe up along their experience. So the perfect world is us shining that light that we were when we were first created, to be who we truly are. That's the perfect world, to tell the truth on ourselves and stop lying on ourselves and stop letting other people put limits on us. That's the lie. That day that we experienced that with Josie, that's the lie. But the truth is that we're going to prevail in this. That's the truth.
And I love that you said that, but I think they were saying, what's the perfect outcome from the lawsuit? But that was wrong.
Yeah, the perfect outcome for that lawsuit is for them to know that we shining bright. Yeah. For them to know that we are the standard. Not think, but know. And we're not begging anybody to know this.
Yeah, that's no longer going to be tolerated. That's what the perfect outcome is. And that other people who think like Josie Lynn, they're going to think again before they deny someone the civil liberty of purchasing real estate wherever he or her chooses to.
Let me ask you all this question. In speaking with your attorneys, and I've had Sister Sadia on the show before, and Justin Moore. Have they spoken to you all about whether there's precedent for this type of activity that in case law, rulings, judgments that really strengthen your case?
They haven't spoken to us directly about those matters. Okay. I know we have very strong supporting information, especially the marketing material, which is a direct violation of fair housing, and something very important I forgot. My elephant memory might be a little shaky. She told us she does not negotiate. And that is like rule 101 in fair housing. Right. You cannot deny negotiating a sale price, lease price for real property. So no, they haven't talked to us, especially about the case law. But I mean, to me, I feel like it's pretty textbook clear, the violation of the law. Yeah. So even if they have to set precedents, I mean, I think it's there. They definitely have.
And you know what's interesting? I was reading some of the marketing materials, and there's a section in there where they ask a question, or maybe more inference, where they say why this property is perfect for the Asian community or for Chinese people.
Yeah.
Right. It's like not all people, but they specifically highlight Asian people.
Yeah.
Correct. So was there anything that was spoken about in y'all's conversation about race or anything like that?
Josie said this. She said, I'm friends with all of the residents that live here.
The owners.
I'm friends with all of the owners that live here. And we wouldn't get along with your kind.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Now, this is a very important point that you ain't saying so far. Say that again.
She said, I am good friends with all of the owners here at these condominiums.
Okay.
And she said that we wouldn't get along with your kind.
We would not get along with your kind.
Correct.
And this is all on tape.
Don't know if I have that part on tape. That was before I started recording. That's when Misty started recording. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Wait a
when I
minute, and that didn't trigger a response?
well,
From
no,
y'all talking about-
not a response in the way she probably thought we would. I just was, I was real still in disbelief. Like this was like fair housing rule 101. I felt like Ashton Kutcher was gonna jump out. I was gonna be
You
pumped.
being fucked, yeah.
Like from the words that this lady was choosing to lose. But I mean, I wasn't gonna act outright with you. I wasn't gonna give her what she wanted. She already had what she thought was the image of Black people. And I wasn't gonna give you what you wanted. She's being programmed too. What you don't understand is you have two queens and a king sitting in front of you. I can talk to you diplomatically.
Yeah.
And then I'll, as my husband said, we don't have to beg you to take our money either. It's more than one way to skin a cat.
So you know what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to get this video and make sure that we put this out, because it's the gold standard of how Black folks should act. And you know damn well Black folks don't act like that. I know me. I'm gonna be honest with you. What y'all said and how y'all handle this, I'm just thinking about myself. You know, you talked about the perfection part, you know, and how perfect we are. Well, I'm the one that needs to get to that perfection stage, because I ain't there. I'm just saying that you all have exemplified such strength and handled this in a textbook way that, you know, everybody that's Black should watch this and understand that, like you said, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and there are thoughts, there are prejudices, there are these preconceived notions about how Black people are going to respond, or how we are, and what we have and what we don't have. The FHA question.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't get along with your kind. My gut feeling is that we wouldn't like each other, or we wouldn't get along. I mean, these are very strong, prejudicial, bigoted comments.
Right.
And it should not, like you say, be tolerated.
Yeah.
It should never be tolerated.
She couldn't.
But I'm glad it didn't break you.
Yeah, she couldn't get an emotional response out of me, because what you think of me or what you think of my people doesn't matter. I know who I am. So that's why you couldn't get she couldn't get an emotional response out of me at all.
So how'd y'all get this supernatural strength? Help me understand, you know, because you all are young. Are y'all even 40 yet?
I just turned 40 on my last solar return.
You just turned 40, and
I just turned 41 in July.
So y'all just scratched the surface of 40. So y'all have a wisdom and an approach to life that is far different than most Black folks. I'm just be honest. You know, I mean, one thing I can tell you, I know Black people. I've been around. I grew up.
I've been all my life.
All my life, I've been Black. I've been around us, and I know how we are. And what I'm saying to you is the conversation that we're having today, I'm so encouraged by, because these are the conversations we need to start having, because money is not the root of all evil. It's the love of money that the Bible says. But we got to have money to make things happen.
Well, see, this is what I say. Money is not the root of all evil. The lack of money is the root of all evil.
There you go. I like that one even better.
Because see, if you don't love money, then it don't come to you. You see, you have to love money. Now, it's okay to have money as long as money don't have you.
Yeah.
It's okay to have things as long as things don't have you. Don't say you don't love money. You got to have a good relationship with money. That's why people don't have it. You have to have a good relationship with money. You have to talk to money, because it's its own energy. And when you talk to it in a positive way, it'll come to you. And the worst thing you can say, I'm going to give you this for free, this part.
All right, come on now.
The worst thing you can say about money is say you spend money. Don't ever spend money. You circulate money.
My money was circulating.
And it comes right back to you. And it comes back to you with friends. That's why we was circulating it to an investment property in Katy area, so that it can circulate right back with some friends. You have to know how to treat money. If you disrespect money, it's going to disrespect you. So no, the love of money is not the root of all evil. The lack of money is the root of all evil. I tell you this, I'd be able to serve God better if I had something to be able to serve God with. You know, you can't do much if you ain't got much.
Uh-oh.
How can you help someone else? You can't help yourself.
Come on now.
You need to be able to help yourself first. And see, when you ask that question, where did we get this type of confidence from? Because my wife and I, we learned what perfection really is. That's why I said it earlier, I am perfect. Because I ain't the definition of what perfection is to the world, what they have convinced us what perfection is. That ain't the perfection, that's something else. That's gonna get you in trouble, trying to be that other definition of what perfection is. You was born perfect. If you made in the image of the creator, how can you not be perfect? How could the creator make you with anything other than God? God made you from God. Is that not perfect? And if we believe that children are gifts, then if you believe a child is a gift to the world, then when did you stop being a gift to the world? Because you was a child first. So you have to think about these things. You got to understand the words that you are emitting out of your mouth, the energy that you're putting into the universe, because that's what you become. That's why I told Mr. Nobody that as a man thinks, so is he. And so if you think you're a nobody, then that's what you are. But see, I don't think that I'm anything. I know what I am. And I don't dream a dream. I dream it in. That's what my wife and I do. And that's what we raise our children to do. And so our children are looking at this situation. They're asking, Mom, Dad, what you going to do? Because we always raise them that we'll go down with you, but we'll go down fighting with you. We're not going to lay down with you, but we'll go down fighting with you. So my youngest son, Dad, said, what we going to do then, Dad? I said, well, you know, we ain't going down without a fight.
Now, how old are you, kid?
8.
No, 19. We have a 19-year-old son, an 18-year-old daughter, a 10-year-old son, and a 7-year-old daughter.
Wow.
And the 7-year-old rules all of it.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. Well, listen, we're about to wrap up here, man. You know, it's been a real conversation. I thoroughly have enjoyed this immensely, and definitely going to be continue to follow you all's case. Again, you'll be able to check that out in this week's Forward Times newspaper, not only online at forwardtimes.com, but in this week's newspaper. I always want to encourage everybody to subscribe to the newspaper. We'll mail it to your home, your office, but you can go to forwardtimes.com to do that. But, you know, you guys have been a true joy to have on this show today. I hate what happened to you, but at the same time, you know, God uses people for such a time as this for his particular purposes. And I believe that you all have been chosen to go through this challenge in order to shine not only a light on racial discrimination and prejudicial, you know, housing practices and real estate practices, but also to help us as a people. I think that your appearance today has helped somebody. I know it's helped me tremendously, because it gives me the encouragement and the joy and the excitement to know that we do have hope as a people. Sometimes things seem so bleak. They seem as if, you know, things are going in a wrong direction. But having you on today helps me to know even more so now that we're going in the right direction. And we just need to change our paradigm, band together, and go in the right path. And I thank you all so much. My prayers are with you all as you go on this journey of your lawsuit, and I pray nothing but a positive outcome. All right, y'all, that'll do it today, man. We appreciate y'all for being on Real Talk Junkies on today. Make sure you check out the show every Wednesday, 12 noon here on the Forward Times Facebook page and Instagram page, as well as on YouTube. Holla at y'all. Peace.